All right, so this has been pretty interesting. I submitted my car on KBB to get the instant cash offer. Started getting replies here. So the first one I got from Delvin was automated right after they're saying, hey, you entered it, thank you, consider it sold. We'll see what happens. Okay. That was 11:02 a.m. Later that afternoon, a little after 1, got an email from Joe saying, hey, I'm one of the Auto Group senior managers. We're here. My system tells me Delvin has been making contact attempts. So 2 automated emails, which I'm not a big fan of automated emails, but when someone submits something, that's a good response, so that's fine. Didn't really think much of it, though, because if you look back at the first one, your instant cash offer, they weren't actually able to give me an offer, which was kind of strange for an instant cash offer, but that is what it is. So I kind of ignored it. The next day, though, April 7th, at 10:57 a.m., Delvin wrote back, said, we have great news regarding your G80. Call me ASAP. So I wrote back, that was at 10:57. At 10:58, I said, let's work via email for now. Tell me about the news. Thanks. And let's see. Never did get a reply to that one. So tell me about the news. Nothing happened. So 2 days later, April 9th, Delvin emails me. A few days ago, you entered information. Are you interested in doing anything? I'm like, what? Wasn't sure what was going on. Just kind of let it slide. Then on the 10th, he sent me basically the exact same email again. A few days ago, you want to do anything? I'm like, Delvin, come on. So that was, again, at 10:57. I think that's when their system goes. I got a lot of emails at 10:57 a.m. So I got this one on the 10th at 10:57. This time at 10:59, I said, hey, I replied to your first email 3 days ago. You keep sending me this automated stuff. Maybe go back to the conversation we had started. And Delvin did write back to that one. He wrote a half hour later, said, do you want to drive to Chattanooga to sell your vehicle? Legit question. I said, not ideal, but good enough value to be willing to go. If you can save a lot on a car, driving a couple hours seems reasonable. So something I'd consider. So he said, okay. And that was the last I heard from him again for a while. Fortunately, though, that night he sent me another automated email. I guess I got added to their generic mailing list now. So I'm like, come on, you haven't replied to my email from 3 days ago, but add me in your mailing list? Come on. That's just not good practice there. But again, no reply at all. 3 days later, I get an email from Delvin. Oh, the offer expired. I'm like, what? I still want to bid on the G80. We're in desperate need of inventory. Oh, they want it so bad. So that was 10:57 a.m. Took me a couple hours to get back. So that afternoon, I wrote back, any update on this? Never heard back on that email ever again. So I also went back to one of the previous ones, the news about your instant offer. Hey, so what's the news on this? Remember we had the big news. What's the big news on this? Delvin's response was awesome. He said, good question. Now, come on. I realize these are automated, but Delvin sends me, let's see. Where'd it go here? Great news. Mickey, we have great news around your G80. I asked him what the news is, and he says, good question. So that's just not a real good way to go there. Let's catch it back to where we were, though. So he says, good question. Whoops. That was this one. Good question. So that was the 13th. And so he says, good question, but that's as far as he went. He disappears again. So 2 days later, the 15th, the day I'm recording it here, Monday the 15th, poof, you submitted an online request for information, then poof, you were gone. What? I don't think poof, I was gone. Again, this is automated email, so I see what's happening, but it's just so poorly done. And he's not replying to my actual responses here either. So I wrote back and said, what? What do you mean? I emailed you a few times Friday, waiting to hear back from you. And then instead of responding to this, he opened a new email thread and said, hey, Mickey, I'm sorry, but some emails go out on my behalf without my knowledge, which, again, I sort of knew this was coming, but he's not responding to the ones he should be anyhow. He's kind of ignoring all my responses. So I just said, okay, I'll wait to hear back from the others then. Thanks. And, again, I had very little hope I'll hear back on the others, but this is a total of 20 emails we've traded back and forth, and Delvin basically is not sure what's going on. So don't have a lot of faith at this point. We'll see what happens.